Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be talking about the Shimano Curado K and the Bass Pro Qualifier. These are both baitcasters, obviously. I've had the Shimano Curado for about 2.5 to 3 years. So let's talk about the Shimano first, because that is the title of this video and that's what you guys clicked the video for. So I'm going to put the Bass Pro Qualifier in the chair next to me and let's start talking about this. Shimano, this is one of the higher, not the higher end Shimanos, like the Metanium's the higher end and the DC, but this is pretty high up there. This definitely isn't a beginner baitcaster. I would recommend the Bass Pro Qualifier as their beginning baitcaster, and I'll get into more of that when I start talking about that reel. That's the reel I learned on. I've had that for about 8 years. But this reel is perfect if you are more advanced in the bait casting area. You know, if you've used a bait caster for a little bit and know how to use them. The bird's nest on these can be really bad because of the high speed on this. The best part about this reel is this little dial right here. I'm not going to turn it because I have it tuned really perfectly to how I like it. But depending on how you're going to fish, if you can turn it one way and it'll speed it up really fast, and you can make it really loose and it won't turn that much. So you can make it super fast or super slow, depending on how you want to work your baits and all that. So that is super helpful and super key in some cases. I tuned it to about medium, so I get enough that I can still work a bait really nicely, but enough to where I don't have to rip it in. So it's really nice and really essential that you get it tuned in perfectly how you want it. It's all, you know, a preference. There's no really set tune you can do for your reel. It's best to do it yourself, get a feel for it, and the only way to do that is to go out and try to catch a couple fish and, you know, see how the baits work in the water. So I highly recommend you do that with this reel when you get it. These run for about $120 to $160, so not terrible price, but the Bass Pro Qualifier is about $90, so it's best to start with that, and then that way you can sell it for about $80, $85, and then just buy this one. That way you get practice with this one, because the Bass Pro Qualifier is not hard to use. This is what I learned on. Like I said, you can turn this way up so it doesn't turn a lot, and you really won't have to deal with bird's nests at the beginning. Like, since I don't use this reel much anymore, I'll turn it. But if you can make it really loose, and this will barely turn, or you can tighten it up. Actually, sorry, if you tighten it up, it makes it so it, you know, it doesn't roll fast, but if you loosen it, it'll roll a lot faster. This is a lot nicer compared to this. This is a lot, you know, easier to tune in, and this is a lot harder to turn in. There's like a, you know, the setting that makes it really hard to cast on, and then a setting that, you know, it runs smoothly. There's also this dial right here. Let's see, can you guys see that? This little dial, it turns, and it has a bunch of numbers, and it shows the, I guess, the ratio. I'm not entirely sure on this one, but I have it set to 7, and that's, you know, the way I learned. I had it between 6 and 7, and that's what the guy taught me at Bass Pro to use, 6 and 7. I can't remember what he told me. It was a while ago, but this is a very good reel to begin on, the Bass Pro Qualifier. But let's get back to the Shimano. So the Shimano, like I said, is extremely good for advanced people. So if you're advanced, definitely keep watching this video, and I'll tell you more about this and what you guys need to do in order to get one. And the rod, I'm going to talk about the rod I use, because the rod helps a lot. I guess the rod, though, is kind of based on what type of fishing you're going to do. Like if you're going to do frogging, topwater frogging, you want the really stiff rod, so I'm sure you guys will have a rod for that. I use ugly sticks just because they don't break, and I travel a lot, so I don't want to deal with a lot of broken rods and shipping them back and forth, so I use the ugly sticks. But the other cool thing about this is the reel is super smooth, and you don't have to oil it that much. I've oiled this reel about one to 2 times in the last 2.5 to 3 years. That's probably not good, that I haven't been oiling it and all that, but it still runs super smooth. There's no, you know, no grinding no sounds, no bad sounds, and then it makes a little click, and it's runs super well. The thing that feeds the line right here, the level wind, super smooth when it goes back and forth, and it puts it even on the spool. And I've taken this off to oil it, and it is really crazy looking inside. It's like a watch. You kind of take it off, and you kind of get to see what's all behind it. And it's really cool and really interesting. You actually take this off as well, the real part of it, and it all comes apart, and it's super cool. I actually had to take it apart one time for a bird's nest that was super bad. I did that. That was my fault though. The real that was when I first started with it, and I didn't know how to use this one, because this one is a lot different compared to the qualifier that I have. There you go, qualifier, Shimano. But this one is for the more advanced, like I said. The high speed is what makes it harder to use, since it spins so much and it throws so much further than the Bass Pro qualifier. It's just a lot easier to use the qualifier compared to this. But like I said, if you're advanced, no problem. I'm trying to think what else I can talk about this reel. Honestly, I've never had a problem with it. I've never had to, reach out to support. I've never had to send it back. I've never had to get it serviced. This reel has been extremely nice. And this is, I guess, the special version, because they only make one left-handed Curado. Because I know a lot, like the Curado DC is right-handed. I don't think you can get one in left-handed. I may be wrong, but I ordered a Curado that was right-handed by accident, and I had to send it back to get a left-handed because I found out that the K was the only one that's left-handed. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So if you're a lefty, make sure you get the Curado K, and if you're a righty, it doesn't really matter. Don't get the K though, because it'll be a lefty. Alright, so that is the Curado K. I'm going to pick the reel back up. It fell on the ground while I was setting the camera back up because the camera fell over. But this is the Curado K. Lots of good things about it. There's not really too many bad things. If you know how to use a Baitcaster, the Shimano's pretty good. I highly recommend it. I've used it. I've never had a problem with it. If you are new, I don't know if you're new or anything. If you guys are watching this video, you clicked on it, you're probably here for the Shimano part. But for some people who just clicked on it just to see the review, the Bass Pro Qualifier is definitely the reel that I would recommend for beginners. So the reason why I recommend it for beginners is the reel is super easy to use. When I went to Bass Pro in Pennsylvania 8 years ago, the guy said, this is the baitcaster you want to use. I will say, after a while, the reel will have problems. It's not very sturdy. Like, it's very wobbly. The level wind is extremely loose. That may be my fault, actually. I haven't really serviced it. I've oiled it quite a few times. But it's just starting to have problems now. It's caught a lot of fish, so I guess that's what happens, when a reel gets old. It's wear and tear on it. You don't bird's nest these often. That's the best part about this. When you're new at using a baitcaster, obviously the bird's nest is the biggest downfall to using one of these. That's why most people use the spinning reel. So if you are new, I highly suggest this. If you're going to get your kids, your grandkids, or brother or sister or mother a baitcaster and they've never used it before, definitely get this one. They're about $90. They may be less now, or you can go on OfferUp or eBay or whatever and get it for probably $20. I know a lot of people on Instagram also sell reels. If you follow some of the pages on Instagram, some of the repost pages, they sell reels or give reels away. I used to do reel giveaways. I don't do them as much anymore, just because we used to just give away the same reels, and everything's getting so expensive that it's harder to do the giveaways. We gave away a lot of Shimano Curado DCs or Shimano DCs. We used a bunch of big pages, and it was super cool. Bunch of entries. We sent about 12 of those out probably last year to people, so that was really fun. It's really cool to for a kid to win, and you get to send them out a free reel. I know it makes their day and all that. And then sometimes we even throw in a rod, which is really cool. But I'm getting off topic now. But back to the reels. I highly suggest this if you're going to buy a new reel. If you're, gonna buy the Shimano Curado DC, or sorry, Shimano Curado K, I highly suggest this one. Very, moderate skill level. Definitely a high performance reel. I highly suggest it. So pros and cons on these. This one for advanced people, this one for new people. I'll leave links down below to both of them if you guys want to go check out the ratings and the reviews and all that. But that's basically it. This is the Shimano. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe. I post a lot of fishing videos and a lot of reviews. I recently started the reviews because in Florida in the wintertime it's super windy, so it's harder to go out and fish when it's blowing 20-25 miles an hour. The camera quality is terrible, the wind's terrible, and it's just easier to make a video inside talking about the equipment I use and what I have learned on to help you guys, have the best equipment, so you guys don't lose that giant fish when you guys hook that 10-pound bass, because that is the biggest blessing, is to hook a 10 plus pound bass and have the right equipment, because if you don't, you're gonna lose it, and then there goes that 10-pound fish. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to be subscribed, click the notification bell. I post every other day. It's awesome. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.